Hi guys, my name's Ian and I'm back with some results and updates from my last video. Then we were looking at some lead acid batteries. What did they look like? When were they good? When were they bad? Because I had some good and I had some bad. Anyway, I've adjusted the code following some comments and some observations. Things happened and I've got some results of what I found with one of my bad batteries. Anyway, let's take a look at some code first. So, what have I changed? Well, the code that I had last time basically calibrated the 5 volt reference that is used for calculating what the ADC was reading. It calibrated it once in the setup loop. Somebody commented that how did I know that that was accurate and stable? And actually I didn't. So I did a few tests and I found that the 5 volts wasn't accurate and stable. Therefore I have changed the code now to calculate a calibration factor on every single ADC reading. So this is what we're looking at. It calculates what one level looks like, one 3.3 volt divided by whatever 3.3 volt was measured by. That gets me what one ADC unit looks like. I then use that to every time I read the ADC for the batteries, I use that to scale them up, and it causes the 3.3 volts to be used as a calibration every single time I read an ADC, and it does make a difference. So let's have a look at some results. I'll show you what the results looked like after I watched these batteries, a good battery and a bad battery. I watched it for a few days. So this is the same setup. You can see it's still running. It's running the version 2 code as it happens, but the bad battery's been stable for a day now at 4.4 volts. So that's a great 12 volt battery. But anyway, let's look at this. This is more interesting. This is the results. So these were my two batteries, both fully charged. As you can see, one is a little bit over 12 volts. That's the good battery. Fully charged, this 12 volt battery was 6.5 volts, 6.6 volts. And as you can see, over a period, this is a period of 3 days, 3.5 days. And there's a steady discharge in battery number 2, the good 12 volt battery. I was thinking maybe my bad 12 volt battery was a good 6 volt battery, until there was a collapse. After a few days, it collapsed. You can see in the numbers here, you've got 6.64, and then there's a bit of a wobble, and then we're down to 4. So literally in the space of, well, where do we start? 6.4 to 4.4. That is a space of how many lines? We are talking 10 rows, 5 minutes interval. So we're talking in the space of an hour. It collapsed from 6.5 volts to 4.5 volts. So clearly this battery is knackered, not even good and reliable as a 6 volt battery. So it'll be going to the recycle soon. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to show you was some more results. So let's have a look at the results coming in from Coolterm at the minute. Now, this is the version 2 software running. The biggest difference with the version 2 software is, besides calculating the calibration every time it reads the battery voltages, it also sends to the console what that calibration was read as. So this is what it's worked out my USB 5 volt line to be, and then this has worked out what the batteries are. Bad battery, good battery, no battery. And as you can see at this point here, it suddenly changes, and then at this point here it suddenly changes back. So what happened? Well, what happens? Quite simple. I have a control in this software for turning the backlight on and off. And turning the backlight, it was on and I turned it off. It caused the voltage on my USB bus to change by, as you can see there, 0.05 of a volt. So clearly the 5-volt line isn't stable. It's not stable at all, and as the circuit, the Arduino, is doing other things, that voltage can change. So when it was the backlight's on and when it's off, caused a voltage change on the 5-volt supply that the Arduino is using. So if I were not recalibrating every time I took a reading on the ADCs, this would have caused me to read different battery voltages. So there you have it. As you can see, that voltage change, because it's recalibrating every time, didn't affect my battery readings at all. Oh dear, what have I done? Anyway, that's the update. I will post the version 2 code on GitHub, and any comments, let me know. Have a great weekend. Bye.